In the 80s, I believe I think I was 18, whatever year that was. And my dad was going to go into rehab. And I won't bore everybody with all the whole stories, but he and Willie were really close. And they said, if you go, I'll go. But if you don't go, I'm not going to go, kind of thing. I don't know. They had some arrangement. So, imagine Willie Nelson going to get off weed and rehab. It's not feasible. But anyway, so they went to this rehab, and Willie brought these two guitars for them to just play and pick on and stuff like that. And one of them is this National Gibson hybrid Frankenstein guitar that I just love. And 3 days into the rehab, Willie climbed out the window in the middle of the night and got picked up, and they took off into the night. And my dad finished the rehab, to his credit. He finished the whole thing and got clean, but he had these guitars of Willie's, and he kept saying, I have these guitars. If you want them, tell me if you want these guitars. And they were just sitting around the house, and I fell in love with this one and just kept playing it, learned to write songs on it. And then my dad finally, after several years, said, you can have that guitar, but if Willie ever asks for it back, you got to give it to him. So I have purposely never brought it up, and Willie has never asked for it and probably doesn't know it exists.
He probably doesn't watch my channel.
No, yeah, maybe not. If it ever gets back to him, I will give it back reluctantly, or it may mysteriously disappear, But I love that guitar. It sounds great. It looks great. Yeah, I don't know. I forgot the story. It's an early 60s model. I took it to be appraised by George Gruen, the foremost expert, and he said not many were made. It was made in this certain time and year, and it's a Gibson body and a National neck, and it actually has a plastic plate on the back. You unscrew it with a Phillips head screwdriver, and you can adjust the neck with a Phillips head screwdriver. It's a Frankenstein guitar, it really is.
Yeah.
Well, I saw Tom Bukovac playing one. I wanted to ask him about it because I'm 99% sure it's the same model. The other ones I've seen have knobs on them, like electric knobs. Mine does not have knobs. And then I saw one hanging in Gruen's, and they said it was on consignment for John Fogerty. So I guess John Fogerty and the famous guitar player Tom Bukovac had them, and me. And Willie Nelson. But I stole Willie Nelson's guitar, which is not many people can say, I guess. But
it's a pretty good title.
Yeah, it's a pretty good title, isn't it? I stole Willie Nelson's guitar. Yeah.
Oh.
My dad and my mother would split up and get back together all the time, so I was primarily with my mother. But when I was 13, I went to live with my dad. And then Willie was around all the time at that point because I was with my dad all the time. I was going on the road and doing things and shows. I have tons of Willie stories. One of which is he gave me the Willie Nelson songbook. It was like the music book for greatest hits and some that will be. And he wrote on the inside, he said, just remember everything your father has said and done and try to overcome it. Willie Nelson. Okay. So I have that, which I think is cool. I don't know. I got a bunch of stories. I mean, one time we went to Willie's house. It was the second Farm Aid, I think. And it was either the night after it or the night before it. Can't remember, but everybody was there hanging out at Willie's house. And they ended up on the steps with all the kids playing in the pool. But I stayed with the songwriters. And on the steps of that house, Willie, John Prine, Chris Christopherson, and my dad were passing the guitar and just sitting there telling stories and sharing songs. And Chris would not play. And he said, I'm not going to pick up the guitar in front of these people and play a song and sing. I'm not doing it. And he refused to sing because he was so intimidated by the grouping of people.
Even with his amazing body of work.
Chris, he was so insecure about his singing. Yeah, and my dad used to say he sings like somebody stepped on a duck. That's what he used to say. So, God, I don't even know what that means. He also used to say, I got so high I went duck hunting with a rake. My dad had a wild-ass mind, Yeah. Oh, well, they were friends before either one of them had any success. They were friends when they were in Nashville struggling to be songwriters, And they were always really close for many, many years. This isn't a Willie story, but this is kind of a cool story. My dad was doing Big River and Big River was his Broadway play. And he acted in it for about 6 months. He acted in it on Broadway, and then he acted in the Nashville version. He played Huck Finn's father. And John Goodman originally played that role, and that's how he was discovered for Roseanne. But my dad took over the role for like 6 months. And one day we were leaving the show after my dad had performed in a limo, and we were driving past Tootsie's, and at that time it was just a ghost town downtown. It was dead, but they were open in the afternoon. And my dad told the driver to stop. He said, "Stop here. I want to buy my son a beer." And I was probably, early 20s at the time or something. And he got out of the car. We got out of the car. We went into Tootsie's and we sat down, and there were probably 2 people in the whole place and a lady behind the bar. And my dad just sat in there. I just watched him looking around and having memories and all this stuff, just sitting at a table in this empty Tootsie's, man. And the waitress walked over and said, "Can I get something for you?" And my dad said, 2 beers, whatever. And she came back with the beer, and she leaned over and she whispered in my dad's ear, and she went, "I know who you are." And he said, "Oh, thanks." And she said, "You're just as handsome as you ever were." He said, "Thank you, ma'am." And she just walked off. My dad got his first huge songwriting check for many, many thousands of dollars from BMI. And Tootsie had always been good to him, taking care of him. She kept a pot of soup behind the bar boiling for songwriters to eat. She was a big supporter of songwriters. And she loaned my dad money and gave him stuff to eat. So he went down to Tootsie's with this check for like thousands and thousands of dollars. And he said, "Tootsie, can you cash a check for me?" And she said, "Yeah, sure, Roger." And she takes the check and she turns to the cash register to cash it. And she never turns back. My dad just sees the back of her head and she goes, "You son of a bitch." Yeah. But that tells you a lot about my dad, because the first thing he wanted to do when he got that was go share it with somebody who he was supportive of him and had been good to him. And he was the most loyal person you ever saw to a friend or to someone who, loaned him money or whatever. Many, many stories like that. Yeah, he was an honorable person.
There's a picture I saw of Willie backing your dad up, playing electric guitar,
Right.
a red Mustang maybe?
Probably.
What's the story behind that?
I know nothing about that story, but that shows how long their friendship goes, because Willie was in a suit with no beard and short hair.
Playing electric guitar?
Playing electric guitar. And my dad was in a suit and styling, and I think it was probably when he was having a lot of success. And I don't know the story of that, but it's a really cool picture.
There's another picture of Willie. There's a microphone, and he's kind of looking off to the side, and your dad is back here looking at the camera with a cowboy hat.
Yeah, right.
Just the coolest damn looking picture. You have any idea what that?
I don't know that one either, but I remember my dad looked super high in that picture, I thought. But it's a really cool picture, yeah.
I thought he looked really handsome in an Elvis kind of way.
Yeah.
With the cowboy hat on, but an Elvis kind of look.
Right. Just have many memories of it. I remember going to see him at Carnegie Hall, and we sat on the edge of the stage there, and Tom Waite sat behind me just doing this the whole show, just going like this, and I thought, this is annoying, stop it, I want to watch the show. But at that show, we were on the wrong side of the stage, and we had to walk to the other side of the stage, so my dad just decided we were going to walk across the stage to get to the other seat. So we did. There were people just coming in, and we walked across the stage, and I stopped in the center of the stage, and I just went like that because I wanted to say I'd been at Carnegie Hall, Willie was playing Albuquerque, and we went down there and, had dinner and went to the show and all that stuff. And Slim Pickens was there, the actor, the old, I don't know why he's doing Albuquerque, but Willie would do this with lots of people. But Slim goes out, and they said, "I bet you didn't know Slim Pickens played harmonica, right?" And he goes on the harp and just goes wild playing a solo. But then you realize Mickey Raphael, his harmonica player, is hiding behind the amp playing the actual solo. And Slim Pickens is out there just going wild pretending to play. And the audience went insane. They just went insane.